Hello and welcome to Quality Improvement Program for Mains 2020. In this session, we are going to discuss question number 10 of the second test of Ethics, Integrity and Aptitude of L2 Mains test series. This is a case study. I'll read the case for you, highlighting the important things, and then we will go about answering this case. You have been assigned the job of assessing bids and awarding contracts for an important highway project. You have been assigned, meaning you are at the helm of affairs. You will be the final decision maker in awarding the bid. There are other members in your committee who would be assisting you in the job. Your team has received multiple bids and you start scanning them one by one, first evaluating the technical specifications followed by the financial bid. While scanning one of the bid, you realize that the technical specification match perfectly with the requirement of the project and the price quoted in the financial bid are really close to the acceptable limit. The near perfectness of the bid creates suspicion in your mind. You discuss the same with your partners and they assure you to look into your concerns later on. However, when the day of the final award of the contract arrives, the other members unequivocally recommend that the contract be awarded to the same party. Unequivocally means without any iota of doubt. At this point of time, you are convinced, mark this, you are convinced that other members must have connived with the party and shared the critical details. So the requirement for the project has been divulged, and that's how they have come up with the specification that was in the mind of the department. So an artificial match of the demand and supply has been created. However, since the scope of the committee is to evaluate the bids purely on the merit of the facts contained in the bid document, the allegation of connivance and graft won't stand the scrutiny of logic. Your inner hunch has no place in the evaluation process. Now the question is, what is the dilemma in the scenario? What are the options available to address this dilemma? Which one would you choose and why? Discuss. This is a very fine case, and these are the important things that you have to keep in mind. Number one, you are the in charge. Number two, it's a bidding process for an important highway project. Third, the specifications matches perfectly. Fourth, the other members unequivocally recommend that the contract be awarded to that particular party. And fifth, you are convinced. So if you are convinced and you don't do anything about it, then surely you'll have crisis of conscience. And sixth thing that you have to note is that the allegation of connivance and graft won't stand the scrutiny of logic because the bid is purely on the merit of facts. This case is related to many topics in the syllabus. In the syllabus under the section Public Service Values and Ethics in Public Administration, we have various topics like accountability and ethical governance, laws, rules, regulations, and conscience as source of ethical guidance. There are rules and regulations according to which you have to do the analysis based upon merit, the merit of the submissions. But then conscience can also act as the source of ethical guidance. Then there's a very important topic, strengthening of ethical and moral values in governance. Then under the subtopic of probity in governance, there are topics mentioned like concept of public service, philosophical basis of governance and probity, information sharing and transparency in government. There are topics like code of ethics, code of conduct, work culture, quality of service delivery, challenges of corruption. There are many things that you can use to answer the case. UPSC has asked many questions based on these topics. For example, in 2016, UPSC asked a direct simple question, what do you understand by governance, good governance and ethical governance? Good governance and ethical governance has been mentioned directly in the syllabus. Then in 2014, there was another simple question. What do you understand by probity in public life? What are the difficulties in practicing it in the present time? How can these difficulties be overcome? If you go through the paper of last 7 years, you'll find many questions from these topics. But never ever a case like this has been asked, the one that we are discussing. So chances of a case like this to appear in the coming mains exam becomes very high. How can you prepare for this topic? There are various ways to prepare. You can prepare from any standard textbook. You can prepare from your classroom notes. You can also prepare it from the mains compass for the ethics that we will be releasing for the mains 2020. First part of the question was, what are the ethical dilemmas involved in the case? There are many ethical dilemmas, but the major ones are these. The most fundamental dilemma is to follow the procedure or to maintain the probity of your office. If you follow the procedure, you have to make decision based on the merit of the submission. How the bidder got to give that specification, that is not your job to know. But a civil servant ought to maintain probity of his office. Probity is not just following the rule. Probity is rather creating trust, confidence in the eyes of people. Probity is about doing the right thing and also doing it in the manner and the way that it would appear that government is working as a trustee. Because government does not have its own resource, it uses the resource of people. So you have to stay clear of any act of corruption. Not only you have to stay clear, you also have to ensure that the work culture developed is such that there is inherent shield against corruption. But in this case, there seems to be that the team members are conniving. There is a negative work culture prevailing, and government procurement and bidding process is one which is most prone to corruption. So if you go strictly by procedure, you will fail to maintain the probity of your office. So you have to choose whether you will go strictly by the procedure or you will go the whole hog to maintain the probity of your office. Then there's a question of honesty, integrity, uprightness, that are the virtues of a civil servant, versus antagonizing their team members, because you do not have a direct proof. You cannot prove that they are conniving with the bidder. It is simply your hunch. And if you start departmental proceedings or you go and complain to the anti-corruption squad, you take any measure that is going to antagonize the team members. So in short run, you may face difficulty, there may be strain among the team members, and decision making may become even more difficult. Similarly, there's a question of doing your official duty versus doing complete justice to your job. And complete justice will involve safeguarding the procedure from any act of corruption. So by and large, these are the ethical dilemmas that you are facing. What are your options? Option number one, you don't do anything, you accept the proposal. Since all the team members are unequivocally suggesting you that the bid must go to that particular bidder, you accept that. Nothing will come on you directly because it is not part of your job to look into the veracity of the submission. You just have to look on the merit of the submission and they qualify regarding the technical specification and financial specification. Your job is done. Your job was just to check that. So any question of corruption will not come on you. And you'll also have good relationship with your team members. But on the other hand, since you are convinced that something wrong is going on, and if you don't act upon your conviction, then there will be crisis of conscience. There will be guilt of not doing something. There will be guilt that you had opportunity to show civil service aptitude. You had the opportunity to strengthen the moral values in the government, but you lost that. You're not acting like the steel frame that Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the first Home Minister of India, envisaged the civil servants to act like. You are destroying the work culture of your department. You're destroying the probity of your office. There's a lot to lose, personally, for the department, for the government, and for the society as a whole. The other option is that you reject the proposal. Because you are heading the team, you'll have the power to do so. Your responsibility towards the society, your responsibility as a civil servant to ensure that the bidding process is free of corruption, to ensure the integrity of the process, to ensure the probity of your office, all of that will be rendered. Since you will act with courage of conviction and fortitude, you will not have crisis of conscience, you will be a happy man. Additionally, your integrity and uprightness will be well known to your department, and maybe because of that in future You will not face such dilemma because people will not go behind your back into an agreement with the bidder. And the merit of the first option will become the demerit of the second option. Your relationship with your team members may run into rough weather. There may also additionally be delay in the project. But better it is to be delayed than to be corrupted. What are your other options? What else can you do? You can do a lot of things actually. You can go and inform the anti-corruption agency about your apprehensions, and you can plead for initiating an investigation. Temporarily, you can put the process on hold, or you can reject the entire process if you have the power to do so, and you can recall the bidding process with some changed specification. And then you can see that again, if the bidders submit with the proper specification without the other team members having the information about the changes, then it's a genuine case. You can renew the process of bidding through e-bidding so that more people participate, and it can be done with more transparency and accountability. If these things does not work out, you are not in the position to cancel the bid or make any alternative changes, then you can act as a whistleblower. You can go to the anti-corruption squad, you can go to judiciary, you can also, as a last resort, go to media. See, even though it is not your responsibility to find out about the suspicious activity, but as an officer, you must show the courage of conviction to maintain integrity in government procurement process.